Well, welcome back. Most of us have retirement savings accounts through our employers, and oftentimes we're not sure how much we should contribute or what responsibilities even our employers have with regard to these accounts. So here to help us navigate through these and other important retirement questions is Ohio's retirement coach, Greg Taylor. We know he is the president of Legacy Retirement Group and, of course, the host of Winning Retirement Radio. Always good to see you, Greg.
It's always good to be here.
All right, Mondays are always fun because we get to answer questions from our viewers, questions that they have been wanting to ask you. They want the answers to this. So we are going to start with Dolores. She says, my company offers a 401k, right, but does not contribute. They are now going to convert everything to a Roth 401k. First of all, what's the difference between a 401k and a Roth 401?
Well, that's a great question. So a traditional 401k, you get to take a tax deduction or put money in before taxes are taken out as you put it into the 401k. All the growth is tax deferred, but everything coming out later on is 100% taxable. On a Roth, you don't get the deduction going in, but it grows tax-free. And as long as you are past 59 and a half when you take it out and you've been in there at least 5 years, then you're going to have everything coming out being tax-free. So I would say this, with a Roth 401k, you can contribute more than you could if it were just a traditional Roth IRA. So you can contribute up to $18,000 until you are, I believe, 50, and then after that you can go up to $24,000 as a catch-up per year. So if you can afford to do that, that would be a great, great plan.
Especially since she says that her company isn't contributing, so her being able to put more in is probably a great option for her.
It is, and so even a traditional Roth IRA is great, but you can only put up to $6,000 or $5,500 if you're up to 50, and then $6,500 a year if you are over 50 into a Roth IRA.
Okay, Greg, question 2. If I purchase an annuity and I pass away, what happens to that money?
Well, it depends on the kind of annuity. So if you buy an immediate annuity, which essentially is like a pension check coming to you every single month for the rest of your life, you can put a few things on it like a period certain, which means that it'll pay out those payments until a certain period of time, say 10 years is up, and then the payments would stop. If you do a life only immediate annuity, when you pass away, everything's gone. Now, most people don't really want to sign up for that one. There are other types, whereas whatever your account value is, so you can have a rider that guarantees income for as long as you live by that insurance company, and whatever balance is remaining would then go to your beneficiaries. And in today's world, people like that option a little better.
Okay, Greg, question 3. How much money do you recommend I save each month for retirement? And this person says, Greg, I imagine it's not about the actual dollar, but rather a percentage, right?
Well, you know, it can be an actual dollar amount. Percentage-wise, you know, if we think about paying ourselves first, as much as you can afford to set aside, whether that be 5%, 10%. And here's the thing, especially in an employer plan, if that money's taken out before you get your paycheck, typically you don't even miss it.
You don't notice it.
We just spend whatever we have coming in. So I highly recommend as much as you can possibly afford to set aside in that employer plan before you ever see that money, and therefore you're not as tempted to spend it. Once we get it, it's harder to, you know, write a check and pay it into a plan.
For sure.
Yes.
All right, Greg, question 4. At what age should I switch from a traditional financial advisory to one that specializes in retirement?
Well, we're getting close to football season, and in football season we always talk about that magical area on the football field within the last 20 yards rather to the goal line is what we call the red zone.
Right.
And in retirement, we have a red zone, and that's when you're 5 years out from retirement, all the way to being retired. Now, we cannot afford to take big losses. We cannot afford to make a huge mistake. So therefore, if you're within 5 years of retiring, you should be starting to transition the way you think, the way you invest, and the way you plan. And now it's time to go from the accumulation specialist into the realm of planning for retirement and in retirement to the preservation and income specialist. Okay,
Greg, as always, great advice. And we want to let people know if you have a question for Greg, like these people did, you can always email questions@ohiosretirementcoach.com. It is that simple. And then maybe next Monday, We'll answer those questions.
Yes.
All right, Greg, thanks as always.
You're welcome.
Well, did you know that when you retire, the government requires you to withdraw a certain percentage from your account each year? Greg is sticking around. He'll be joined by Kristen coming up to help explain next.